So, welcome to episode 1 of Out on a Limb. I'm Jaki Logan and
I'm Katie Powell.
woohoo! Look at us start a podcast.
I know.
I've never done podcasts before.
Girls on film.
You know, it was funny when we were talking about names and stuff for the podcast. Kiss was like, "Oh, what about the casting couch?" I was like, "I think that name's taken."
Yeah, I'm sure someone else has done something with that. Don't know what it is.
We're girls doing a podcast about stand-up comedy. We're funny. It's out on a limb.
So let's to start out. We are new comics. We're fresh on the Glasgow comedy scene, trying to do something. Be funny.
Be funny. Like that's the main goal, I think, and like navigate this
wild space.
It is definitely weird, isn't it?
I mean, we've both been in the beauty space in different ways, and that can be like super catty, super strange. Comedy's another level.
Yeah, it definitely is. And how are you finding it? Like, what's your kind of feelings with it so far? So, like, we started November?
Yes. So we did a course to get into it, which was just sort of battering away at stuff, seeing what worked, and then we did the first performance was the 12th of November.
Yeah. So we started kind of 6-8 weeks before that. Then October, we've been doing it since really. Then haven't we? So. How many months is that?
So this is
4 or 5 months?
3 months performing.
Yeah.
Which actually probably not done a lot of performances, me at least, for 3 months performing. But, then there's March, and March is just going to be wild.
Oh, it's got to be wild with the comedy festival. So, we're doing a show. It's our first sort of mixed bill show. Yes. It's called Never Seen a 4. And there's 4 of us comics that all started together at the same time. And
so nobody's ever seen us.
Nobody's ever seen us. Well, you're hoping. You never know. Maybe we'll have made an impact on somebody already.
People are like, I'm going to go see them again. Because I want to see them do 10 instead of 5.
I want to hear this double.
Yeah, I want to laugh twice as much. Not any harder, just twice as often.
Twice as much. And hear the same jokes that I heard the first time.
So yes, we're doing this show 22nd, 23rd of March, Admiral Woods Bar, which is literally there from where
we're in Central Chambers right now in my nail studio that we're using as our little casting couch.
The Nova Nails Lounge.
I love that. That was so funny when you messaged me that. I was like, we need to have that. So we're calling it the Nova Nails Lounge. Definitely, that's it now.
Yes. It's a lounge. It's got a vibe.
I think it looks so cute for a podcast. I'm so happy with it. We've got my nail light giving us a bit of lighting.
Yeah. There should be someone in the corner just playing double bass. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. It could be fit a whole band in here.
I think so, but I mean we already had a bit of difficulty with your height sort of navigating this room, never mind adding in somebody with a double bass.
We could fit a drum in here, just one drum. just
a
guy going
a bongo.
Yeah.
When we were in holiday recently, there was a guy who sat at the end of the pathway to our hotel every night playing the bongos. And it was just the most random thing, and they would offer you to try and sell drugs to you.
Oh, yeah. You know, actually, as growing up around Glasgow, you might remember Bongo Terry.
No,
so Bongo Terry used to be, because there's lots of iconic Glasgow people like the Glasgow Raver and that guy.
I don't know who the Glasgow Raver is. That her that sings at the funerals? No.
It's just the guy. He's bald, wears glasses, walks about with headphones on, raving as he goes, just as he walks about. I don't think he does it for money. I think he just does it because he likes it. But Bongo Terry was a guy who used to hang out outside of Forbidden Planet and on Buchanan Street when it was there, and really I'm talking nearly at least 15 years, maybe 2 decades ago.
Oh my god, that makes us sound so old.
I know, but he'd be sitting and play his bongo, and you go chuck him a quid or something, and he'd go, "What's your name?" And I'm not sure where he was from, but it was proper thick accent, this beautiful mane of dreadlocks, and he was so awesome, and then he would just start yelling and go, "Katie, Katie, 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 Katie," and play
anyone
his drums.
walking by right now.
I know. But it's so good. I love Bongo Terry.
So you'd put your name into a song. That's quite funny. Do you remember this is totally down a path now, of nostalgia, but do you remember the blind couple who used to sing on our Giles Street? I'm sure they used to sing, and the guy used to play the keyboard and she would sing. They were good though, like,
I don't
obviously
remember if they were...
well,
Terry was
really.
fantastic, how dare you?
But you know, like, talent like that, you're like...
Yeah, you're like, wow.
That's like, they should be somewhere. Not standing in the rain in Glasgow City Centre. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it's so funny how all these like people get names and they get known.
Iconic.
How did we get on to talking about that?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I
We were
fit a
talking
bongo
about-
in the middle of the room.
We were going to put a bongo in the middle of the room,
Yeah.
that's right, yes. But yeah, so we've been doing comedy, we're doing a show
That's the
at the
one.
festival, Friday the 22nd and Saturday the 23rd of March. The tickets are on our social streams and we'll obviously put it on the page for this as well. And yeah, that's just really kind of shooting the shit. What does that mean?
That's you plugging
Oh,
our
plugging
show.
it? I was like, alright.
Plug.
I thought you were just trying to stab me in the face or
Oh
something.
yeah, you plug somebody, don't you?
Okay, okay. Wait,
So-
what?
A shiv? No. Hey, so what was our thing? We have talking points. Because
We do have talking
We have
points.
ADHD and as a unit. And
We should have just called it the ADHD podcast.
I know,
We
just-
should have. Well, should we maybe like get me to try a cream soda?
yes, okay, because this is like before we even get into comedy. But when Jackie asked, "What do you want? Do you want snacks? Do you want drinks?" I said, "Yes, get me cream soda."
We've got some crisps.
So, yep.
We've got some popcorn,
Some,
and we've got the finest
good.
bars cream soda. Which, I mean, I feel like I've heard of it, but I don't know what to expect from it.
it's a shame that it's not in a glass bottle because anything bar is obviously iconic in a glass bottle. But and it's no sugar
Is
now,
it
which
fizzy?
is just lame. Yes, it's fizzy.
Or actually, maybe.
So just like it's fizzy. So okay, this isn't going to be as good as like traditional cream soda because it's now bars done that thing where they take all the sugar out of it, but it's fine.
Oh right, okay.
So yeah, I'd said to Jackie, get me cream soda, and she was like, I've never heard of that. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, that's like on par with like Vimto. And I mentioned dandelion and burdock, and she was like, I don't know what dandelion and is.
I still want to call it Daddy Lion.
Daddy lion.
Daddy Lion.
So we're going to try some cream soda. I mean, I'm just going to drink some cream soda, but Jackie's never
See,
had
I've
it. So.
shaken mine up because I'm a fucking idiot and it's going to, oh no, like... Right, so I'm going to, like, try and guess what I think the flavouring's going to be.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, like,
Give it
I
a
feel like
sniff.
it's going to taste like sherbet.
Okay.
Okay. Should I smell it first?
Yeah, get like a full bouquet.
Oh, okay.
All of that aspartame and Assolium K.
It smells like sweeties.
It does smell like sweeties.
Alright,
It has
here
a
we go.
creamy element. Cheers.
Cheers. I'm scared.
That's pretty lame.
I mean... I don't know if I could drink it like... You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm thirsty, I need a drink.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm
I
gonna
feel
burp.
like it's an edible cake. It tastes like cake.
Yeah, it's cakeish. It's like, I would say it's like,
Victoria
like an
cake,
ice cream
Victoria
float.
sponge.
excuse me, I
Right,
burped.
okay, that was what I imagined when you said cream soda
Yes.
last night when
So
you told me.
that's what I would say it's like. It's like an ice cream float kind of, but like I say, I can pretty much just taste sweetener when I'm drinking this now.
I mean, yeah, I've got like some like cola just as,
High
as
quality,
like yeah, like
full
just yeah. What did you call it? No,
Emergency supply.
Emergency supply in case I didn't like it. Which I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't think I would want to drink it like
as a
as a
regular drink.
yeah. It tastes. I think it tastes like a Victoria sponge cake.
I'm gonna get you an actual cream soda that you should try because I'm sorry, Bar, but this isn't cutting it. It used
was
to be
89
better.
pence.
I know. It used to be better. It genuinely used to. It's all this sugar-free stuff. It does not.
I mean, it's the same way that with Iron Brew. Like, people have all those TikToks online, like, they're Americans trying out Scottish stuff,
Right.
and it's like, you don't know.
It's not
it-
1901.
no. I don't even think that tastes the same.
No, I don't
It's
think
not. And I feel as if my memory of what Iron Brew was has, like, is disintegrating every year that goes by.
so. What would you describe it as? Because I know there's the pure thing. There's literally so many references to Iron Brew in here as well. But like,
Oh
what-
yeah, one of my clients made, like, so I drew.
you actually need to show
I need
because
to
otherwise
show it,
it's
'cause, like, otherwise it doesn't like.
for people who are
it's like
listening
a
and not
coaster,
viewing.
And I drew a little kind of graphic of Iron Brew cans sort of smashing together, and there's like Iron Brew spilling out, and it says "For the love of brew." And one of my clients made them into coasters for
Super
me.
cute.
How cute is that?
I love that.
Thanks, Carol.
Thanks, Carol.
If you're watching / listening.
What a doll.
What a doll.
Yeah, so we should now we've tried cream soda, and I'm sure we're already like 15
You've not got a
minutes
watch
into
on.
this. I know. Never got a
Like,
watch on.
looking for so what should we do now?
I think we talk about comedy now. What got us into comedy?
Yeah, let's talk about. So obviously we were talking about how we're doing our show and everything. So what was it that initially got you into comedy? Like, what made you decide to join the class? I suppose.
This is going to start with a really sad, deep story.
I'll go for it. We need to hook the audience.
I know, just like start playing.
I'm not going to cry though, am I?
It's pretty sad. I mean, it's nice, but sad. Basically, it's so hard to say, and this is going to be on the internet, but basically, when my mum was dying, and she was in bed, and we were having our last kind of conversations together, the last thing she said to me, I made an inappropriate joke, because that's just what I do, and she said, keep doing that, keep making people laugh. And that was like the last thing she ever said to me. And
that is sad, but also dead, like
inspiring, right?
Inspiring, and there's something
they'll make a movie about it.
Like.
But she told me that, and like my mum was an impossibly tough woman to please. Like she would critique my humour my whole life. Like I worked very hard to be like funny, to make people laugh all the time, and the fact that she thought I was funny, I just like was brilliant, because my mum was one of the funniest people in the world. And then I'd seen the Ultra thing come up a bunch of times, and I was like, do you know what, this time I'm just going to sign up for it, because after my mum died I signed up for like Kilt Walk and like another class and like hundreds of things. I was just like, I'm doing everything, but that was one of them, and then I ended up going, and then it just, I was like, I've always wanted to do stand-up comedy. I want to be on panel shows. That's really...
Yeah, I remember you saying that the other day. Like, was it Taskmaster?
Specifically, yeah. Taskmaster. Like, I watched so many panel shows growing up, so like that's the goal. Mm-hmm. Like,
yeah.
If you can...
I definitely think you can get there. Like, I think as well, like, when a lot of times you join these classes and you go the first night, you go, oh shit, like I'm looking back. But I think that our group of people specifically were all just so fucking nice. Mm-hmm. And like, it was just we all were so encouraging each other and really wanted each other to do well. And that obviously was really good as well, it being dead encouraging. And I was surprised, I kind of surprised myself with how nice everybody was. Like, that sounds pure, like, weird, but do you get my point?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously there has been a few people that have been shunted out the group, for various reasons.
And that's the maddest thing about it, because it's everything up to the show is always, I mean, it's anything you go in, and it's like, you think everybody's great, we're all best pals, we're going to do this forever. And a week later, you hate 6 out of 20 folk.
Here are the 6 names. No, it's definitely, like, I mean, but for the most, I would say most of us who are, like, yeah, I think most of us are alright, and it's just the same age-old story of, like, guys.
People are perverts.
Yes. I don't want to say that for, like, I mean, God, if you watch this, you don't know what we're talking about, you know? Like, but yeah.
Shame on you.
Shame on you, like, exactly, like, buddy. But yeah, so, I mean, I think, yeah, it's just people ruin shit for people, don't they? Like, and it's just like that way, it's like fucking ruining it for everybody and like putting up your damper on our, like,
fabulous group of people.
Aye.
But folk find a way. People find a way.
They do. And they always get caught out. Like, you get caught out.
Yeah,
like,
don't be shady, people. We'll know.
What?
I'm just looking at each one of the
cameras. I was like, what? Like, oh yeah, that's right, there's other cameras, but I'm not only looking at them. I'm so sorry, I'm looking at you too.
So why did you decide to do it?
So I mean, it's not as sad as it's yours at all, actually.
Inspiring movie.
And I'm going to sound like my usual blowhard self when I'm like my little kind of name drop and all that. So so my partner Chris, he runs his own comedy, magic and burlesque night, and it's quite kind of well known in Glasgow and well known in the kind of comedy industry. So I've been around comedy, even actually more so, like, even before I met him, like, I would go to comedy gigs, I would be a little bit of a groupie and like get to know, I was chatting up with guys, right, I'm not even lie, like, but yes, I got to know, literally, I just wanted a boyfriend who was a comic, like, that's what I wanted, but yes, I kind of got to know loads of the comedians through that. And then I started obviously going with Chris, and I would go with him to loads of these gigs and get to know the people that ran the shows. So I've seen it all from the backstage for the last 15 years, do you know what I mean? Like, and I've done everything from like be a audience participant to being in shows like singing and stuff like that. I've ran a gig myself, I've organised it, I've booked people, I've sacked people, I've paid people, do you know what I mean? Like I've done it all, and it's quite nice because Chris would let me do that. He'd be like, oh, why don't you give it a try, why don't you do this, why don't you do that, because he's really bad at organisation. Like, so, as much as he manages to organise, I know.
Talking about his blooming company.
Like, I'm sorry. But people, I think everyone in comedy has an element of, I don't think there's anyone in comedy that's normal. And that's me being like serious. I think they've all got like an element of some kind of ADHD or something. I think that's what makes them want to be on stage.
Yeah.
So Chris is definitely like, you know, he manages to get everything done at like the fucking last minute for achievement. Like it's every month, like it's the same, and it always ends up putting on a great show. It's a great little hidden gem in Glasgow. Like, and I have to say that because he's my boyfriend, but also it's a good show. So I kind of always had this funny thing because Chris would constantly use things that I had said in the house, funny shit that I said, and fucking turn it into his joke.
You're like, bitch.
And I'm like, that's my joke. You know, or you would write all these, like, so Chris calls me Wee Birthday, and everyone, like, that knows me in comedy knows me as Wee Birthday, and they'll meet Chris and they'll go, is this Wee Birthday? Like, and they don't know my actual name. But yeah, so I kind of always said, like, I'm definitely funnier than Chris, I want to prove it one day. So that's kind of what kind of started it, and then I kind of took a little bit of an kind of, I'm not going to say like a mental breakdown last year, but it was like a tough mental time last year, and when I started to get better, and I kind of I started going to therapy, and I was like, you know what, I can't let this fucking rule my life, I need to get over this, and I need to learn coping mechanisms, and a bit like you, I fucking signed up to everything. I started going to line dancing, I started going to singing lessons, I started a choir, I was out every night of the week, and like then going to comedy was one as well, and I kind of dropped off the other ones when I started to feel better, and I was like, oh, I don't really, you know, I actually do want to go back to my line dance, no, but it's on a Tuesday night, and our comedy course is on a Tuesday night, I'm like, argh! So I'm definitely going to go back to that when my Tuesdays are free again.
There's
for sure.
Nothing wrong with like having a hobby for a good time, not a long time.
I thought you were going to say for an old age pensioner.
Oh, that cruel.
They were old age pensioners. I had to like this other one last year who was so lovely that I became hands with her, but then I think she kind of thought that I didn't like her anymore when I left, and I was like, no, dude. So she actually came to see the Ultra show, which was cute.
Oh, that's nice.
So that was
having
nice.
pals who support you.
I know, like,
Stuart.
I better know because my mum will think I'm pure mean and her.
Just attacking my pal for no reason. He's a very good, supportive pal, but I go to all his gigs.
He's not been to one of yours yet?
He hasn't, no.
Stuart. Like, it's a $5 for this show. Like, fuck's sake.
Come along. Oh, it will be at the one in Paisley on March 6th in the Bungalow, which is a night I'm putting on, called Crash Course Cabaret.
I'm on there too.
She's on as well.
She's on as well. It's funny, Chris always says you'll never be a legend in your own like town.
Yeah.
Like that way, like I mean, all his pals will go pay 20 quid at the stand to see the same comedians that Chris has got on at Entertainment. Sometimes they'll be doubling up, like they'll do Chris's show, then go up and headline the stand, and they'll go to the stand because it's like they like the stand. Like, whereas they would get a free ticket if they came to Entertainment, do you know what I mean? Sorry, they would maybe get a free ticket, no,
No, it's a bit like that though. I was saying this, like, because Fern Brady said this actually in our book.
I love her.
She's amazing. I love Fern Brady. But will she be my friend? Probably not. But she
just
said,
tell people you know her.
Yeah, people do that all the time. Name droppers, you know. But
Me especially.
I know. But you do know them.
I know, I suppose. I do.
I've been to their birthday parties.
That was only Santa.
But she.
I'm actually going to literally just tell people that it's Santa's birthday. There is a comedian called Green Maggie and he looks like Santa. Yes. So I call him Santa. And I went to his birthday party recently. Hi, Green.
If he's watching.
If you're watching.
So, Fern Brady says that she went and did like a home show. And it was like dead air. She'd been like down in London doing shows constantly, was on TV. I think she just came off Taskmaster and stuff, and then she did a home show, and it was like, and she was like saying, oh, everybody's looking at me. She talks about having autism.
Yeah.
And she's like, everybody's looking at me like oh, is that all she is now? Like, oh, big comic, runs away, comes back, and all she... I mean, I don't want to speak for her, read her book, it's very good. But, like, basically just that people know you too well, and I say this all the time about my stuff, that it's like, if you know me and you know the person that I used to be, who was quite, like, militant and, like...
I can see that.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm obviously quite an impassioned person, but I used to be very, like, people...
Did you find your head?
I did. 6 foot in this wee corner. Yeah, I used to be really, like, militant about stuff, and my opinions were really, like, quite madly left-wing.
Right.
I'm much more centralist now, but, like, used to be really, really left-wing, and I think a lot of the people, like my brother and my dad, and even my partner Craig, like, know that side of me, so then when they see me do my stand-up, which is this caricature of, it's the opinions that I hold in a way, but taken to the extreme.
Yeah,
so
and joking about them.
Yeah, it's like this caricature, if you believe to a certain percentage that person is like that, it isn't shocking, it isn't, what a ridiculous thing to say.
Yeah.
It's, oh, you've taken it too far. Katie, you've taken it too far this time. So it's like, even though they do laugh and they hear the jokes and they get it and they find it funny, they don't ha 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 the way other people who don't know you will ha ha ha.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I think, like, my, like, family just don't see me like that. Like, I kind of feel like, so, like, they didn't come to the Ultra show, which obviously it is what it is, right? But I think they just kind of thought, oh, what's she like?
Oh, she's doing another thing.
She's doing another thing, exactly.
Yeah.
And then when I actually showed them the video, they all felt so bad because it actually was pretty, maybe not pretty good, but it was better than they expected.
It was definitely good.
Do you know what I mean? And they were like, holy fuck, you're actually on the stage. Like, you're actually, like, it is proper. And I'm like, what did you think it was?
What did you think I was doing? That I'd invited 3 people to my salon?
Like, fucking what? Like, so yeah, I think that they just don't see, like, me as being funny like that. And, like, Chris pure, like, howls at me and thinks I'm the funniest person, and I howl
Like,
at
he
him.
picked you.
He picked me!
Yeah.
And of all the wee whiny wee people who could have picked me. But no, exactly, they didn't pick me.
No.
They were landed with me.
Exactly. You were landing with them.
Literally.
That's how it works. It's how it works. You know all the worst bits of them, so it's like...
Yeah.
That's the tough bit.
I think your family and all that are always the hardest people to, like, please and to, like, to give you, like, praise.
So you could go to space and your family would be like, that's really good, but, like, you could have went to another galaxy.
Well, actually, my mum would be like, and how much did it cost? And I'd be like, oh, it was $2,000. $2,000?
I know.
You get it 3 holidays to take tariff for that.
It's like, oh, Mum, I broke the glass ceiling. It's like, well, did you go through the out of the atmosphere? Like, come on.
Or
My mum used to do this
like,
nightmare.
oh, thingy-majig Patty, her daughter went, oh, she actually went to Mars. Yeah, like that, fucking hell.
My mum used to do this thing where she'd genuinely just be like, oh, you did that? That's absolutely amazing. But make sure you don't fuck up. Make sure you don't ruin it.
Yeah, don't ruin, that's good. I heard that my mum does that as well.
Ready. She's ready for it to go wrong, and you're like...
My mum, every week, she'll say to me, oh, how's things in the salon? I'll go, oh, it's quite busy yesterday, I'm quiet tomorrow, or whatever. She'll go, what are you going to do? I'm like, have a day off.
How are you going to pay your bills?
I'm like, same way I've paid my bills for the last 8 years. I've been doing it.
Like having a job, having a salary.
Exactly.
People come in.
But it is. It's like it's tough, and I definitely think that, like, I'm learning that actually doing comedy is not really that funny. But
it's quite serious.
It's quite serious, and there's,
serious.
like, a lot of fucking, like, rules that we don't really know yet, and, like, these unwritten rules that you don't really. You learn them by hard ways.
Like, both of us clambering to shove our feet in our mouths. Like,
Well,
sticking your foot in it, like...
I've done it a million times. Like, my foot is constantly over my mouth at all moments.
Just, like, waiting.
Just waiting.
To make a mistake.
We should probably talk about, like, how we came up with the name, like, Out on a Limb. Like,
yes, I was going to say, because that's the next talk.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't even, I just, like, guessed that, so...
Somebody's memorised our set.
I literally haven't even looked at the fucking talking points at all.
Oh
like, my diary's down there, but it's, like, just that way, where it's, like, Jaki Logan, then a date. But it's on in school.
Dear
but,
diary.
Yeah. So both of us have kind of got like, what would you call it, overextended limbs? Like fucking weird.
I have hypermobility.
Yeah.
So that means like everything overdoes it.
Yeah, that's similar to me. I mean,
bits dislocate often.
I've never, and they don't dislocate, I must admit, which I'm glad of.
It's not the worst thing. It's just extremely painful when you can't sleep at night. But like it's no, it's not that bad. It's
Do
sometimes.
you pop it back in yourself?
See, it doesn't fully dislocate. Basically, it's like if this is the joint and this is the bone, it's supposed to be like this, and it sits like off. So I have to go to a physio and get it cracked back in, or I can do some weird things to myself sometimes. But ribs dislocate, that's the worst one. Like this rib pops out, and then this hip. But everything else generally is actually okay. Nothing else tends to pop out.
I see, mine's is just like literally like on my doctor's notes it says floppy joints. Literally. They literally like see if you took my hand and like moved it around.
Your wee gimpy hand.
Like literally wee gimpy. Like it's. I remember I went to.
This is very.
I know, it's like
you've got
very
soft
relaxed.
hands. I don't know if we've ever touched hands.
Oh, I remember years ago before I started doing nails, I went to get my nails done.
Oh, of course we've touched hands. You've done my nails.
Of course. You're just like touching me up again, like have we touched before? And she said to me, I wish everyone had these rubber fingers.
Yeah, so you did it to me. You just went, your fingers squint. You just went, can I just?
Turns out it was like one of those like fucking like model hands.
Rotate.
Because you get people who are like mega stiff as well, like fucking like, the fingers are always pointing at the ceiling and you're like, I can't really fucking see what I'm doing.
So we have weird limbs.
Yes, we have weird limbs, and like we came up with another name, but it turned out that somebody else had a podcast called that. So we're like, we don't want to steal it. We don't want people googling our name and getting them instead.
Yeah.
The bubblegum girls, we're going to call them.
Bubblegum girls.
But yeah, so we came up with
yes.
Out on a Limb.
Out on a limb.
Women's
sleeve.
Katie's a graphic designer, and she's like, oh, I came up with like what I think the design of like the logo.
It was just the initial idea.
and she was like describing to me, I'm like, I need something visual, so she drew what she thought with like this big long arm with a wee guy running off the end, and then this big massive sleeve. I was like, what's with the wizard sleeve? She's like, I do not know why that happened.
You thought it was a wee guy running off the end. Actually, it was you dancing on the end of the finger. I don't know why I thought that, but that was just my. It's a wee tiny.
I should have known it was a wee tiny skinny
my big
thing,
giant arm.
And a big giant arm. But yeah, so then obviously we kind of come up with this as well, like sort of, oh, we're going out on a limb to try and comedy and like doing something new, and that's kind of how we come up with the name.
It's clever, and we came up with it all by ourselves.
All by ourselves. No one else has any input, especially not Chris.
Yes, we're going to have no further explanation on that point. That's why we decided to start a podcast. Moving on. So yeah, we were going to talk a little bit about the kind of feelings that we have. We had kind of before going on, during a show, after a show.
Yeah.
Beginning, middle, end.
Yeah, because it's I think it can be a kind of funny one. Like, I get so fucking nervous. Like, I get like excitement nerves before I go. Then as soon as I'm on stage, I'm like, holy fuck, these people are all looking at me.
And seen. I feel observed.
I feel seen in the wrong way. And then I panic about like forgetting my set, and it's happened like I've forgotten bits before, and remember like at Ultra, like at our showcase, I completely forgot this bit, and I like had done it so many times before that.
You're not in. Yeah.
And then I went, oh, I've got it back again, and everybody cheered, and then I went, oh no, it's me.
That was quite funny, that.
I edited it out my video. So, like,
that's brilliant.
So
it's
like,
like
looks a bit more like, but then like after it, like when it goes well, you do go, I'm actually quite funny, this is actually quite good, and you can't wait to do another one.
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah. But, do you not think, like, do you remember like when you were writing your set, and that first night that we first done our 3 minute, I think it was, on stage at Blackfriars, and everyone was like fucking woo! Like when I done the joke about the ticket thing.
Yes, because we were all in agreement, like.
Yeah. And I were all in agreement with it. So basically, just to like, what's the word? Preface?
Clarify.
Specify. Okay. So we done Ultra's comedy course, and it's like a kind of franchise. It does like Ultra boxing, Ultra like I think we've got like ice skating, like ice dancing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think they do it in Glasgow though, but I've seen it. I had a look on their website. They've got loads of these different like things that you can join. They can teach you to do. One of them's obviously comedy, but the tickets were quite expensive, right? And everyone was about like,
Jackie's being very diplomatic.
I'm being so nice in case
I'm
they watch
just gonna
it.
blooming say it like it is, right? Basically, this company, they're not they when you sign up for it, it looks like you're doing it to raise money for charity, but actually none of the ticket proceeds go to charity. It all goes to them, and the ticket prices were blooming extortionate. And then it took like 3-4 months for us to get our videos back. And then half the videos didn't even work. Like, none of this is alleged, literally true.
This is Katie's opinion.
Does not reflect or represent anybody else in this
We
video.
do not work for the BBC.
Yes. But for real, like, they're just, we had a not very good experience with them.
Yeah,
but
I
other people did have good ones.
mean, like, if everything had went like quite well and all that, we got our videos back in time and all that, it would have maybe been a wee bit better. But yeah, so the tickets were like 25 quid for the tickets of the show, and like you're talking about brand new comedians that have never done comedy in their life a lot of time.
See Russell Howard for 25 quid.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally true. Like, I mean, I think his was maybe something even good to that. I don't know,
like
but
back of the room.
so everyone was sort of really struggling because they want you to sell 10 tickets, which essentially pays for your place in the course, and everyone was kind of a little bit annoyed about it. So I kind of made a joke about you know, the tickets anyway. And I didn't tell anybody that I wrote this joke. I just went up and done it, and everybody just went wild, didn't they? Like, and
you can say the joke. You're not going to use it again.
Like, I know, but it's like I need to explain the whole Caribbean thing and the like cocktail. Like, yeah, I just kind of was.
If you want to hear more of that top quality comedy, come along to the Admiral Woods Bar on the 22nd and 23rd of March.
That's just how my whole set goes.
So you go, I can't be bothered telling this joke, I'm going to move on to the next one.
It's actually joking.
Quick, have some cream soda.
I know that would be worse. But you can imagine that one was I just set up loads of jokes, don't tell the punchline.
Or just the punchline and no joke. Like, there's no setup, it's just...
Oh, that's so fucking funny. But yeah, so basically I made a pure joke about it and everybody went wild. And I'm just like, holy shit, I've never felt anything like euphoria in my life.
What a rush.
It really was. And then instantly I got cotton mouth and was like, oh! That's kind of the best. And that's the way I get, like, if I'm on stage and it's getting big laughs, I start getting fucking, like, excited and then I start talking at a million miles an hour. And I hold my breath, I can't breathe.
You just kind of have me in the audience because I just sit there and go, like, so loud.
You have a pure loud laugh and so did Lindsay. Like, Lindsay had one of those, like, you could hear that over it. But it was good to be able to hear somebody laughing, like, it's quite nice.
I'm the best audience member you can possibly have. You want someone who laughs a lot and loud. It works. It's good.
But yeah, so that's kind of how I feel. And then, but also, like, it's not putting me off. Like, if I get a bad gig and it doesn't go the way I thought it would, it's not putting me off applying for other ones. How do you kind of? What's your kind of thoughts?
So
you've not done as many gigs as me yet, have you? How many?
No, I don't think. I think I'm maybe like. How many have you done?
Like 15 or something.
I think 9.
I don't know that, but
it's not like far off, but I've got like so many coming up in March, and I kind of just was like, I've just done 10 minutes, and it was. I'll go into the worst gig ever. But like, when I started doing ultra, like I didn't realise how low my confidence was,
right?
And I landed up going and doing the show. Excuse me, pure burping because of that.
That came soda.
Yeah. So I'm backstage, and what was it? Chris Mitchell-Lee, who's a very funny guy, who told me, he was like, do your power poses, get like, you know, Superman it, like you'll feel confident. So backstage, right before that was going on, I'm like, right, I need to psych myself up because if I go out there.
First in your group.
Yeah, my.
Yeah, me too.
And yeah, you were first for the full show in that, which was quite.
Oh,
tough.
you were on it night as well. That's right. Yeah.
So.
You were sitting half.
Yeah.
After the break, yeah.
Third. I think it was in the last set. Anyway, so I was back there and I was like, if you don't put your absolute 110% all into this, it's gonna be shite, and people aren't gonna laugh. So you need to like psych yourself up, you're the shit, and in my head I'm just going, you're going to be awesome, you are so funny, your jokes are brilliant, you can do it, Katie, come on, like pure like smack me in the arse and send me out onto the football field, like revving myself up. And I swear to God, when Viv called my name and I walked out like I'd been doing stand-up 25 years. I walked out like sideways, like, hello everyone, like, as I walked on and like pure stomped the stage. And everyone just, it was such a good response. I feel like I got such an incredibly good response. People were laughing so much. And like, you could see people laughing in front of you.
Yeah, that's the thing,
And it's 200 folk.
Well. That's the thing, like, it's such a big room. Did you feel though as though, I felt as though because I got such a good reaction in that room that night, because you say they were so encouraging, so like wanting to laugh, that when I didn't get as big a laugh the next gig, I was like, holy fuck, what's happened here?
I think I kind of prepared myself for it, I think, because I left it a couple of weeks between, and I kind of, because I wasn't sure, I was like, I'm not going to rush into it, because if I rush into it, I'll book a bunch of stuff and then I'll not want to do it and I'll feel shit and I'll give up. So my logic was like, I'll take my time with it. So by the time I decided to do it, I was like, right, I know this isn't going to be the same. I was like, this isn't going to be the same rush. So I went on. I had to psych myself up. I'm in a bar, so it's a bit different. You're not quite as... went and did my set, and then I came off, and my whole body went... Your adrenaline rushing through your veins, and you're like... Then I was like, oh no, that's... Like, that is the feeling, like, and it doesn't matter if you're playing to a room of 200 people, or like 5 folk in the corner of a bar who laugh at you. Like, when we did McCare's, it was like there's so few people there. It still felt so good.
Yeah, it was a nice night that. I think because the guy who ran it, Mark, was just like, really was nice, was funny, it had a nice vibe to it. Like, where was that the other night? I was at a gig the other night. It was in Junkyard.
Oh yeah, Junkyard's nice as well. Like, everybody wants to be there.
Yeah, it was really nice, and it was one of those kind of gigs where like you could not heckle in a bad way, but you could all kind of like
chip
in a wee bit, like, and it was quite nice. I was going to say something when you were saying about psyching yourself up and doing the Superman thing and all that. Yeah. Chris read Steve Martin's book, you know, from Airplane and Father Right and all that. And here's this thing where...
Not Airplane though.
No, who's that again?
That's
Leslie.
Leslie, not Jordan. I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
but Steve Martin's Planes, Trains and Automobiles, which maybe is what you're thinking.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of, yeah.
But Steve Martin, cheaper by the dozen.
Cheaper by the dozen, yeah. Father of the Bride.
Per man, not his best. Like, not like it's bad.
I did love Father of the Bride though.
Oh yeah, no, but
it's one of my favourite films.
I mean, Cheaper by the Dozen was probably not his...
I've actually never seen it.
Really? I mean, it's fine, like, it's as far as I recall, it's a decent enough movie, but when you've got, like, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels and the Pink Panther and all that, like, you're sort of... I sounded like one of our voice notes there, when you play it back at 1.5 speed. Like, Steve Martin, I love Steve Martin so much, it's really great.
I don't know how you understand my voice at all when you're like... When you put it to 2 speeds,
it's no actually.
Holy shit, it's like actual minion. But yeah, so he read Steve Martin's book, and in his book he does this thing where before he goes on stage, he imagines a fish in his shoe, just because it's quite stupid and funny. So he always does this thing where he's like, oh no, he puts a fish in his shoe. He puts a fish in his shoe, and then when he goes on stage, he's the only one who knows he's got a fish in his shoe, and therefore it makes him laugh. So now, like, Chris does this thing where he thinks about that story before he goes on stage because it makes him pure laugh. So I was standing backstage at Ultra going, fish in my shoe, I've got a fish in my shoe, I've got a fish in my shoe. And like, that's this pure thing that I do now, and I pure just think it's quite funny, and it puts you into funny mode.
Yeah, I was thinking that because I was going to listen to the Return of the King audiobook on the way here. And I was like, no, I want to listen to like a funny podcast.
Yeah.
To like kind of get myself in the.
What did you listen to?
The Tony and Ryan podcast.
Who's that?
Like they're the Australian people.
Oh.
You've not seen them? They're like, they're so funny. I can't believe you've not seen them.
Oh wait, yeah, the one last in that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they're so funny.
She done one the other about washing yourself with soap in the shower.
Oh yeah, do you use
like
the bar?
Like, no one does the bar.
Apparently, I'm not gonna out them, but someone in my family does the bar, and
your dad?
No.
I didn't know your dad. I don't know why.
Because how do I say this right? One person said about the other person, or they asked the group, they went, so I have to ask this question, do you wash with the bar, or do you, like, all of us immediately were like,
no, like,
you lather it in your hands, and then they all just like looked around.
And they done that. Oh my god, that is so fucking funny. I do not want your arsey soap on my face.
No.
No thank you.
I mean, don't put soap in your face.
I mean, I've done it.
Yeah, bombing. So, which ties in nicely with what I was saying, the story I was going to tell. Is you do all these great gigs and you feel really high. And I was really terrified about bombing because I was like, what if this is the thing that puts me off it? What if it's so painful? I feel this anxiety in my chest, I can't breathe, it's awful. And it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, because I did this, so, as I've already explained about my stuff, it's quite tailored towards a certain group. And, I mean, there's lots of bits of it that are, everybody will kind of laugh at. And I did get some laughs, but pretty much bombed in this place because I had 10 minutes to do. And as I walked into the room, this crowd was not there for comedy. They didn't know what they were there for. And while the other comics did significantly better than me, this room probably would have not laughed at me even just because I was a woman. And I don't even think that's why. I mean, I think my jokes were not for them. They might have laughed if they were the right kind of jokes, but there was something in it, in the audience. But I stood up there and I just went, just keep going. You just keep going. You're just doing your set. You just keep going. If nobody laughs, nobody laughs. You just keep going.
It's so hard on it.
And like, I don't know, I went through it. I missed like half my bloody jokes, but like I still managed to rattle it off, get a couple of titters, literal titters. And then I walked outside and my boyfriend was there and he was like, are you okay? And I went, I'm absolutely bloody fantastic, and laughed my head off. And the feeling that you get when you come off a good show and you come off a bad show, same feeling.
Yeah, that's what Obi said in it. So like Obi's like a kind of well-known comedian, and he was like, you need to just go up there and kind of like act like you don't care.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really care because you have to just say, they're not my people, they're not for me, and that's fine because your comedy's not for everyone.
Yeah, no, it's dead true.
There's no one whose comedy is for everyone. Nobody.
No, definitely not. And then you get other people, like there was a guy at Junkyard the other night who I think he would have laughed at fucking anything. But he was like encouraging and being nice and proper, like rocking back and clapping and all that. You're like,
Rolling.
Like you're rolling with laughter. No, like a little bit, you're like, right, that sounds sarcastic.
It's like, stop it. Leave it
It's not that funny.
Oh my god, no, somebody's laughing really hard at your joke and you go, it's not that funny. I'm like, oh. But bombing is kind of painful. I mean, you had that really terrible gig that you don't need to name, but like...
No, we can't name.
No.
So yeah, no, I done one and it just was that way where they were just all staring at me. And like, it's so hard to explain to people, like when you've had people laugh at your jokes and you're waiting for the laugh and it just doesn't come.
It's like, this is funny!
You're like, what the fuck? And like, yeah, like, but I think that it'll just come with like experience to like get over that. Like, I'm definitely, I think, better now because it's happened a few times.
Yeah.
Like, so now I'm like, oh, fuck. But I mean, I did come off stage and did just burst out laughing, do you know what I mean? Like, because I'm, Chris was there and kept looking at me, so I was like, what did I do? What did I fucking do? And Chris just was like, keep going. Like, it was so fucking funny.
See, I never thought I was funny to begin with, so nothing to lose. It's brilliant when you come out and like, it's just nobody laughs and you're like,
that's fair.
It's hilarious, but like, fair enough. It's not for you.
Yeah, but I do believe you're right. I think what you're saying, like, there about like, you think it would have probably not even a laugh just because you're a woman. Like, I think there's a lot of that. Like, I mean,
you would hope not, but there probably is.
I think there is. Like, I think that it's shit that's the way it is. But I think that our generation, luckily, that's sorry to say, but that's kind of dying out.
Yeah, like, well, you look at comedians our age. And, or even a lot of the slots that are going up, the shows that are going on, a lot of them are very 50-50 in terms of who, male and female and other. And like, so when you've got, even on TV shows, panel shows, all of that, it's becoming much more like there's so many more female comedians. A lot of them are our age, though, like are circling 30.
What
40,
I find
like,
though, what I've noticed is being in comedy for so long, is that a lot of women, like, they don't progress past a certain point. They seem to get to a certain stage and then they kind of stay there. You've got ones obviously like your Jane Godways, your like Julia Sutherland, like JoJo and all that, like who have done amazing.
Susan McCabe.
Yeah, Susan McCabe, yeah, exactly. Like all of them have like accelerated and are going further and further. But there's loads of comedians that I know that are women that they're at a certain stage and then they can't really seem to fucking get beyond that. And then like if you look at like for example like Chris would have a woman on no problem. He's not like but for every one woman that applies, he's maybe had like 20 or 30 like men applicants, and then you're going right, okay, like I would really rather have more than one woman on, but there's only one woman there. Do you know what I mean? Like
it's not necessarily the booker, because I did see a booker asking for more. What was it you said? It's a bit sausage heavy.
Oh, good, right, okay.
I was like, it's a bit sausage heavy. I would like some, some more.
Yeah, and I think that's fair to put that out and be like, right, is there any other women that want to come into this gig? Like, but yeah, I mean, like, I think it is tough, but I do think, like, we do have a slight privilege on our side of that because there's not as many women.
What's that doing?
My battery's going to die.
We're back in the room.
Yeah, we had a little technical error there for a moment. What was I saying? Oh, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say that I think we've got a slight privilege on our side that if we applied for a gig, there's more chance of us getting that gig because there are not as many females, and then they want a female on the bill, and then we might be the only female that's applied.
It's rubbish though, because you don't want to be picked for that reason.
No, of course not, but you get my point though. Yeah. Whereas if you're a guy, I'm not like pure sticking up for Boys Club or anything here, but like if you're a guy, then do you know what I'm saying? Like so.
Yeah, it's harder.
Yeah.
But I think
there's more competition.
Yeah, I mean we don't know enough about the scene ultimately from like an insider's perspective, like a proper doing it everyday, experiencing it kind of thing. But I guess like from what you can see from just being a person who likes comedy, which you've obviously years and years and years and years been, you can see like the way, like, do you remember even just 10 years ago, there was like Sarah Millican, and she's like the only one that springs to mind when I think of like big British comedy.
Yeah.
I can't think of a lot of American ones. There's like Taylor Tomlinson, but like again, these are newer people.
But Sarah Millican's definitely one who's done well.
And Sarah Millican does very female-oriented comedy.
She does.
Like, I would rather there was more. I mean,
Fern Brady does not bad. Like, she's kind of not far. Like, I mean, I don't see Fern doing like big national tours or anything, but I think she does a lot. She does do well. There's a lot of TV stuff and all that now. But in terms
she's
of
doing an American tour or something, I think.
Is she?
Yeah.
But then you look at
these are all younger people. That's what I mean. Like thinking of 10 years ago, who was on the scene, and I can only think of like female-oriented comics, like ones that were doing that sort of, it was very focused at women. It was a lot about our muffin top and periods and all that stuff. Like whereas you'd rather just be able to be a comic and talk about what's funny. And like you talk about your eyebrows, obviously, but that's a facet of like you as opposed to it being like Gary Meikle talking about his daughter's eyebrows was a different thing, do you know what I mean?
Well, do you know it's funny because like I was quite like clear on what type of comedy I wanted to do when I started, and like I didn't really want to be a swearer, which I swear all the time. Like when I talk, like forever, like I can't help it. Even with my clients, I have to say things. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm like, but I didn't want to do anything that was sexual. And I'm again not a prude.
You're protecting yourself.
Though. Yeah. Also, I wanted my set to be really friendly, and that's what me and Chris were talking about something the other night. I wrote this joke, and in the joke I joke about having a dildo.
Yes.
But when I do the joke, I don't fully lean into it, and he's like, it's because you don't feel comfortable saying it. He's like, it's not you, clearly, like, you don't really want to say it.
Joke, ultimately.
You need to do a different joke. I was like, I know it's a good joke. He's like, it is a good joke, but it doesn't sound like you're saying it, and because your voice actually changes when you say it, because you don't...
You try to shy away.
You try to shy away, and then that's why it's not getting as big a laugh, because you're not leaning completely into it. I'm like, right, okay, and he's dead right, I don't feel comfortable saying it. And it's not that I fucking care about having a dildo and anything like that, do you know what I mean? Like,
everybody's got them.
Exactly, like, but I kind of think sometimes, if my dad came to come and see this, do you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't say that joke if he was there.
It's a shame, because it's like, I told you the reverse joke of it. I gave you like a reverse version of your joke and said like, what if you did it this way? And you were like, oh no, but I wouldn't want to suggest that I actually have a dildo.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's where, because the thing is, I think the other version, like the version not to be like, I'm just going to be like, I'm so funny. I think my version's better, right?
Yeah.
But only because it's more...
What was your version again? What did you say?
So it was that, because it was, to give away the premise, it was that you were going through airport security and my ad said they found a suspicious long item in your bag, basically describing it's a dildo, and then you go, it's a bomb,
Oh,
I have a
right,
bomb.
yeah.
Like anything to say that you...
Yeah, that it wasn't a dildo.
Yeah, even though it was a dildo.
Yeah.
But even that was like too close an indication to it being a dildo, which says the whole joke doesn't really work for you, because I have the same thing with, you know, when I, like, it's in my 10, so I'm gonna rewrite this joke because it doesn't sit right with me, is the one where I'm like, you wouldn't... I would
fucking freeze it.
But you say like, I say like, you wouldn't call Lizzo a cunt. And that's the punchline, and I feel like it's weird because I swear, and I don't avoid swearing in my gigs, but I don't like the punchline being, the swear word being the punchline.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's that funny.
Okay.
It's just a bit aggressive.
Aye,
So I'm going to rewrite that joke for that exact reason. It's like trying to find what
works for you and what like you feel comfortable saying. Exactly, and I think that's where audiences can tell when you're lying. Now, like, obviously all comedians embellish things in their stories that are true and stories that aren't true, but audiences can tell when it's deeply not true.
Yeah.
And they don't buy into it.
Yeah, they know when it doesn't suit your character, basically.
Yeah. But there's stories that the comedians will tell, and like, I can't even think of one off the top of my head, but it's like, you know, oh, this thing happened yesterday, and this happened, and this guy said this, and this, and this, and you can fucking tell it never happened.
Did you eye?
Did you eye is exactly it, and that's exactly what audiences are thinking. Whereas if I tell the stories that I tell, because there is an element of truth in them, then that's how you can tell that they're true. You
should always, like, what I realised quite quickly was it's funny to embellish, but if you start with something that's true, it's going to have a lot more, like a more solid foundation that actually makes the embellishment more believable, and it makes everything altogether more funny. Whereas it just feels unrealistic otherwise. Yeah,
they're true. So, what have you got coming up? What's your next kind of gigs you've got?
So we've got the course for the next few weeks, which is Viv G's advanced comedy course, because Viv did the other course, and then we're like, teach us more. And it's just a really good place to practice and get.
That's what I feel. I said that to Chris. I feel as though it's a great thing to do, like, for like, what's the word?
Just ideas.
No. Right. Yeah, I sat really bad. Like, to be held accountable.
Like, you have to do it every week.
Yeah.
And it keeps you on track. Yeah, like you've got homework, which I've not done.
What was that homework?
I don't know. It's something about MCing. Things got confused.
Oh shit! Okay.
I've done homework. I've done homework at 3:00 on a Tuesday every fucking week. But yeah, so other than that, so we've got that. Then my next thing is like the showcase comes up. We've got the diversity quota. So the showcase the 27th at Blackfriars. Diversity quota at Gilchrist Hall on the 28th. And that's like all my shows for February. And then I've got one the 4th, the 6th, the 12th, and it just like the whole of March is just like...
March. Yeah, I'm like kind of opposite. I've got a gig tonight. This is like literally, so tonight I'm performing at the Panopticon the Britannia Panopticon. The Britannia Panopticon.
Yeah. It's already passed though, like by the time this comes out.
Why is it not still? Like, you can still say it anyway. Okay, tonight, as in Friday, the fucking, what day is it?
Jackie has already done the Panopticon, and she is no longer doing comedy because she's lost her toes and frostbite.
I'm fucking getting frostbite enough before I leave here. Oh, you wouldn't believe I'm getting frostbite.
Is it out on a limb, out with no limbs? Lost everything.
So yeah, but apparently it's really cold in the building, so they're like, please bring like blankets, bring like heaters.
Did I actually tell you?
I literally like bring whatever you need to heat yourself up.
You know you can't jump on that stage because it's too, if you can't do dancing that involves jumping because
really?
It's too structurally unsound. Yeah, I was going to do an event in there and it ended up not going ahead.
Because Chris has done burlesque things in there before.
Because you can dance, but you can't as long as you don't leave the crowd.
Right. I don't think it would make much of a difference if I jumped on it.
Wee birdie, you'll just fly away.
And it'll be really crack. You'll just hear it, then somebody else will step on and they'll break the stage and the fall.
It'll be Chris. Then you push it onto him like, ah.
You might take that as well the wrong way, you big fat bastard.
You can't say that, you're a wee skinny bastard.
I'm not really skinny bastard. But so I get that tonight, or last week, or whenever this goes out. And then I'm doing Entertainment, which is Chrissy's show.
Yes.
This weekend as well.
And
that's a big one for me because obviously it's Chrissy's show, and to be fair, he was like so against having me on because he didn't think I was ready. But it turned out this is like a mini show, so he's like, right, I'll put you on this show.
I'll warm you up.
I'll warm you up, and I might let you do a proper paid spot in June.
June? Yeah, you should be good by June.
Hopefully.
You won't be
I
fresh.
need to have 10 minutes by then.
Well, you need to have 10 minutes by March.
By
March 6th.
Well, I'm at 7 now, so that's not far to go.
So that's a minute a week.
A minute a week. I need basically 3 more jokes. Chris says I need 30 laughs, and that time I was like, what?
I've got about 50 in my 10.
I've never counted.
I think it's about 50. Because I successfully, almost every time, with the exception of that one show, every performance I've done, I've had a laugh at every joke.
Well, that's good.
Which is rare. But like, unexpected.
Yeah.
Especially because I don't think it's funny.
It is funny.
So what are you doing when this might have come out? So say 3 weeks' time.
Comedy festival?
Yeah. So Jackie's going to be performing on the 6th of March at the Bungalow at Crash Course Cabaret with me, Chris Mitchell-Leigh, who we've also mentioned, and a bunch of other brilliant people who are doing music and comedy and poetry and all sorts.
It'll be good.
Less poetry.
So there is a night called All Sorts Cabaret as well.
That's not as good, but so I don't even know.
I think you'll go about it. Crash Course. Oh my fucking god.
Crash Course Cabaret.
Crash Course Cabaret.
My logic with it is it's like eventually you could offer feedback to people.
Yeah.
And be like, if you want feedback from your performance, I'll happily assess. Rather than, by the way, than me just being like a wank who's been doing comedy 5 minutes and saying that I'll give you my opinion, which I will do anyway.
Exactly, you're going to do that anyway.
But no, I actually have history in directing and acting and music and various other things that mean I at least have some level of qualification.
You're like me, where you've been at everything. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Fingers in all the pies.
Yeah, like one.
I didn't mean to sniff my fingers after that. That was disgusting.
Big fingery limbs in the pies. So yeah, we'll both get pretty much doing a few things coming up.
Fat schedule.
Yeah, fat schedule. Yeah, and it's going well. So we just need to see. So
this has been out on a limb.
The podcast. I have no fucking idea.
You say this has been out on a limb. I'm Kat Powell.
I'm Jaki Logan.
And keep laughing, kids.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Wave at all the cameras.
It's not even next week either because we're not doing it weekly.